Hi, this is Terri Levine, and I was really curious. Brian Ridgway did an event recently, a small event in Michigan, and I've been hearing all this chatter about the event. I was really curious. What is happening at that event? And if he's going to do some more events, I want to find out who should be going and what the value is. So I have invited Rosemary to join us because she was at the event in Michigan, and she's going to tell us what it was all about. So Rosemary, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome, Terry. I'm glad to be here.
I really appreciate it. So first, let me ask you this. What led you to Brian in the first place? How did you discover Brian?
Well, I was on his list for a long time, and I can't remember who told me about him in the first place. And then in the fall of 2016, I believe, it was when he was launching his book. And he sent out an email saying if we read the book and liked it, would we help him on his launch day by putting a review on Amazon? And I did that, and he had promised he would give us a Facebook Live that would go on until every question was answered. So that was my first experience of seeing how the man completely over-delivers, that he would put himself out there to make that commitment to people. And then not too long after that, he opened up the Conscious Creators Program, and I signed up in that, and that was January of 2017. And since then, I have followed him, and I've done all the Freedom Sevens, and I've done the 2 Liberation Fives, and now recently the event in Michigan, and I just think people really need to experience him. He is unlike anyone else I've ever worked with before. Like you, I've spent a lot of money and a lot of years in the personal development field with some results that have made my life certainly a lot better than it was, but there was something missing all that time. And with Brian, I've found not only the paradigm that I'm learning to live by, which allows me to see the powerful infinite being that I am, but also the simplicity that he's coming to as he's worked on his own stuff and listened for his own guidance. I've found over the time I've been with him that he's getting crystal clear on his message now. Yeah. So we began Saturday morning with Brian laying out what has been the most profound, for me, piece of the puzzle, because he talked about safety and how without safety, we're never going to go for what we want. We'll always be afraid. And we'll always be, if we have a feeling that we aren't safe, we'll always be attracting things to us to show us that we're not safe. And so if I can sit and breathe and get present and just embody that feeling of safety before I go to do anything else, my results are going to be completely different. And that's what I found. And it was simple enough. The thing that I liked the most about it was there was for me, no way I needed to interpret it. Mm. So we've talked before about making life more wonderful for other people, but I need to have something in my head about what wonderful means, or at least I thought I did. Whereas safety is visceral. I can feel safety. Mm. And I can see how that's the answer for me. Mm. So that was Saturday morning, and we just went on from there for the next 2 days to really reinforce that and see all the ways that we could enhance our feelings of safety by really getting the breathing. Mm. So I know Terry, Brian teaches us a way to breathe that is in our best interests. And what we found at the event was that many people either thought they were breathing, but they weren't, or they were feeling blocked and they had never voiced that before enough to get the help they needed to get past it. Mm. So we did that as well. And between those two those two things, and then answering questions and being together in a group, it was just over the top amazing.
Wow, you're glowing. I mean, you're
Yes.
absolutely glowing. I can see that. It's amazing. It's really interesting that that feeling of safety is so critically important because you're right. We don't ask for the sale. We don't put ourselves out there. We don't enter a relationship. We don't speak. We don't do anything where we don't feel safe. And sometimes it's very unconscious. So this sounds like an
Mhm.
amazing opportunity. What would you say to people who may be watching that are considering coming to an upcoming event like Albuquerque, who go, well, I never heard of this Brian guy, and what's the result? What would I get out of this? What do you want to say to them?
Well, first of all, I want to say that he really is the real deal. Any encounter that I had had with him previously in all the programs I've taken, I had a sense of who he was. And then to meet him in person, he was exactly that. There's no airs about this man. He oozes confidence, and that's awesome because he walks the talk. He follows what he believes, and he has every right, if that's a word, to be confident in what he does. And he's just the most loving human being that I've ever experienced. And he shares that unconditional love with everybody that he meets.
Mm.
And he meets people where they're at. So he has an ability to tune right into what's going on for a person and guide them through that. So people were making huge breakthroughs on that weekend, and everybody in the group had worked with him for at least some period of time before that. And we all still made some significant gains by being with him that weekend.
Mm. Just beautiful. I love the way you're languaging it and laying it out. I'm kind of visioning it and I can definitely feel it. Sounds amazing. And is there anything that you might want to say to Brian? Because he'll be watching this at some point also.
Oh yes, I love you, Brian. Yeah, he's just a really wonderful man, and he has helped me more than anybody else has ever helped me before. My life is so much more joy filled, and I noticed I came back with the intention of not only creating safety for myself, but safety for the people that I interact with. And I'm currently teaching English online to children in China. And so I went into my classes after the weekend with that very conscious intent to make every child feel safe.
Mm.
And I felt like that really added to what I was able to give them in the lessons. I think I have already been very good about, really meeting them where they're at and everything. But with that added element in there of, you know what, no matter what happens, you're fine with me, really seemed to me to make a big difference.
Wow, that's huge. I have goosebumps as you were talking. That's absolutely huge. Wow. Well, I want to thank you. I know you're busy and you devoted a little bit of time for me and to help others and to let Brian know. So I really appreciate you being here. I am so excited, and I'm excited for folks who are coming to other events that he's doing and those that get to work with him for 4 days privately in Hawaii. I'm just super excited. So thank you so much,
You're
Rosemary.
welcome, Terry, and definitely go. If you have any way of getting there, get there. It's definitely going to be worth your while.
I second that. I've worked with
Yeah.
Brian privately for 4.5 years, and I've worked with him in small group and watched him work with, I don't know, probably 300 or 400 people. So I'm with you.
Good.
Thanks again.
Okay, thanks, Terry. Bye-bye.
Bye.